Hey friend, I'm out on a little drive right now, and I'm actually driving. I just wanted to say hey, do a little check-in, and ask, what's up? What you doing? How's your day going? It is Thursday, I believe, and I feel good. I know I've been sharing recently that I'm having a moment of transition. And it's funny because a few weeks ago I was like, yeah, I'm coming in on the tail end of it. No. Still in the middle of it, okay? That's fine. I don't get to determine, dude, how long things take to process. I don't have any say. But even still, I am so grateful for my life. I am so grateful for the difficult parts. Okay, it's easy for me to say that right now, right? Because I'm not, in this moment, dude, I'm not experiencing difficulty, even though it is a difficult moment in my life. What does that mean? Dude, I am so deep in peace and surrender, I cannot even tell you, dude. I'm like, it's fine. However things go. Whatever is next in my life, it's okay. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I'm just sort of like out to sea, and I'm just letting the water take me where it wants to go. And I think there was a time where I lived that way, but it was not intentional, dude. It was me being in complete disassociation, just trying to survive, not being connected to my own feelings, my own wants, my own desires. No, I'm clear on all of those things. I know exactly how I feel. I know exactly what I want. Does it mean that because I have that clarity that those things are guaranteed for me? No. Okay? It just means that I want to be connected to myself. I want to know who I am. Right? I think we come across this concept of like, you need to be yourself. Be yourself. Don't worry, be yourself, right? I think if I would have said that, or if somebody would have said that to who I was years ago, 5, 6 years ago, 4 years ago even, I would have been probably defensive. Like, I know who I am. I am being myself. What else can I be? But when we really look closer, that wasn't exactly right. Because I was in hiding in so many ways. Okay? I was not revealing, even to myself, what my feelings were. Because I knew that they were big feelings. I knew that they were life-changing feelings. If I was actually going to address how I felt, truly, right? With no kind of like censoring, just the full effect of what they were, I knew that I would be bound to walk away from the life that I was living, and I didn't want to do that work for so many reasons. I didn't want to walk away from that previous relationship, dude. I love this person. I'm not in love with him, not anymore, not for a long time, okay? But I still had feelings of love for this person, and I wanted to be in love with him, and I wanted him to be in love with me. I think if you were to ask us then if we were in love with each other, I think with a clear conscience we would have said, yeah, of course, right? Because I feel that who we were, we felt pride in the other person. You know what I mean? I felt proud about the person that he was, and he felt proud about the woman that I was, okay? But the thing is that we were not living in honesty, dude. Not that we were intentionally walking around trying to deceive. That's not it at all. It's more the energy of, if you don't connect to who you are in your fullness, in complete honesty, then how can you present anything other than that to anybody around you, right? If you can't be honest with yourself, how can you be honest with anyone else? It's just not possible. Okay? And so we lived our lives in a certain amount of ambiguity. There are certain topics that we couldn't really get into because we knew it was going to lead us down a further awareness that we were not working, not really. Okay? And so, when I talk about like living in my authenticity and not giving a shit about being judged by other people, in particular because people don't walk around in their authenticity. They're worried about being judged by other people. So why should we be all extra concerned about what another person may or may not be thinking about us and how we're choosing to live our lives? We don't know what their guiding light is. What is the guiding principle that is determining how they're living their lives? We don't know. Okay? And so all we can know is what is the guiding principle in our own life. And so that is why we need to be so determined to know ourselves, to continually know ourselves. Because the more that we know ourselves, the more that we are willing to change. We're not afraid to morph, dude. It's if some like new adventure gets presented to us, we're not living in fear and going, well, like, I can't do that. What if I fail? What if I get judged? What if my family says, well, that's what you get for trying to get out of line. You should have just kept going down the same path that we're all walking. Who do you think you are? Or whatever, dude. There's like a million potential reasons why we live in fear, okay? But in looking at that example, you wouldn't give a shit. You would be like, yeah, I'm taking a risk, okay? And me taking the risk of, going down a path that you, another person, potentially judgmental person, wouldn't go, doesn't make my path wrong. It's just different than the path that you're going down. To you, it may sound like the equivalent of jumping off of a plane. Okay? But all it is me living in my authenticity, making choices that are right for me. They're not being filtered through the opinion of any other person. Even when you get them, I still occasionally get people telling me their opinion about how I'm living my life and what I should do and how I should do it. Does it change my path? No, dude. I consider it because I don't want to be like stubborn and not like listen to counsel. What if it's wise counsel? What if it's the universe speaking through that person? Right? So, but it doesn't move me in the sense that I'm just going to run it through the universe anyway. I'm going to talk it over with the universe any fucking way. Okay? And that will determine what my steps are. That's how I live my life, dude. I am constantly communicating with the universe. Constantly, dude. Constantly. And so I feel confident about my next steps. I'm on a drive right now. On this drive, I absolutely can get in a car accident and die. As my soul is leaving my body, will there be any ounce of me that's like, what the fuck? How is it possible that I, ended up this way when I still had so many things that I wanted to accomplish in this life? Universe? No, dude. No. My feeling will be, okay, job well done. Get to go home now. Woohoo. Okay, because there are beautiful beautiful things about being on Earth. There are, okay? Right now I'm going through a mountain range. So fucking gorgeous. I cannot tell you how beautiful this thing is right now. I think maybe I should stop and take a picture. I'll include it with this audio. I should pull over here soon and take that picture. But anyway, the point is, it does not matter, dude. The nice things that are built into Earth, I know what it is. When it's time to go home, it's time to go home. It's fine. Anyway, yeah, so I guess what I'm saying is things are still up in the air. I am 100% fine with it. That doesn't mean that I don't still have to work through anxiety every single day about it, and that's why I meet with the universe every friggin' day, okay? And talk those things through. And just the more days that I am in complete peace and surrender, just the easier it becomes. And again, it's not that I don't know what peace and surrender is, but this is like another layer of it, like another level of like, everything's fine. It's fine. Things are going to work out in the way they're meant to, dude. Right? My blessings, they're for me. They're coming my way, okay? Just like my difficulties, they're made for me. They're coming my way. That's what Earth is. Okay? And so, the reason that I'm able to have these moments where my peace and surrender, dude, are being strengthened, is because I am living in my authenticity. So again, being myself, but how can I do that? It is only through actually getting to know myself and accepting myself for who I am, dude. Flaws and all, weaknesses and all, okay? I'm sure there are millions of people, maybe billions, okay, on this earth who would look at me and my story, my physical form, you know, my life experience, my work experience, my academic experience, my familial relationships, my love history, right? And they could be like, no, not interested. I would not want to emulate that. That's fine. That's fine, dude. To me, I would celebrate that. I would be like, okay, good. This is a person who at least, even if they're not sure what they want out of life, they know what they don't want. And so I go, that's a positive step, dude. Being connected to the self, I celebrate that. I don't need any fucking body to approve of what I'm doing and how I'm living my life. Not one motherfucker. Okay? And that is my wish for us all, is that we get to the place where we're like, I'm just gonna do what feels right to me, dude. This doesn't mean like being willfully harmful to other people, being evil towards other people because fuck them. No. That's the wrong spirit, dude. It's about being in the energy of like, I need to live in my authenticity. So what does that mean? Let me connect to myself, get to know what are those things that are my worries, that are my fears, that are my anxieties, and do my best to help resolve those, dude. Do my best to get to a place of peace and surrender. And you know, peace and surrender, it's not easy to come by. Well, you know, it really isn't. And so if you are in need of assistance, dude, get a therapist. Get a therapist. If you meet with a therapist and you go, whoa, did not like that person, you do not need to go back to that person. Cancel that appointment, dude. Try a different one. Okay? If you have had trauma in your life and you are in the awareness that you've had trauma in your life, get a trauma-informed therapist. Also, there are reviews out there, okay? So take a look at that, dude. Spend time, invest time in helping your own soul out on this journey that we're calling life. You are worth the effort, dude. You just are. Okay? Anyway, I think that's all for today. I'm going to continue on my drive. I hope you have a fantastic Thursday. Until next time, see ya.